Hi there, so I'm doing a review here of Do You Want to Know a Secret, which is a 2001 slasher film directed by Bradford. I'm actually in the UK and there is a UK version of this DVD, but I chose to buy the US version because I preferred the artwork on this. The UK version has different artwork. That's the back of it, but it's the very definition of a bare bones release. There is essentially no extras and there's not even a title menu or chapters or anything like that. After you pop the DVD in, it just kind of goes straight into the film, so that was a bit weird. Not that it really matters. Anyway, the story of this one is that in a New England, Connecticut college, a male student receives under his door a kind of like a weird note saying, "Do you want to know a secret?" And soon after, he is killed in his dorm room by a masked and cloaked assailant, with the murder thus going unsolved. A year later, the former girlfriend of the victim, who is now in a relationship with somebody else, is travelling down to Florida with her boyfriend for spring break, and they plan on meeting up with some friends down there. They stay at like this swanky villa, beach house type thing whilst they're there. And after settling in, their friends find themselves with an uninvited guest who seems to have followed them down from Connecticut. It appears that the murderer from the year before is back and he's picking them off one by one and taunting them at each crime scene with the "Do you want to know a secret" message. So that's basically the premise of it. So I'm going to go into what I liked about it now, the good points. And for me, the appearance of the killer was easily the strongest aspect of things. I really like both the dark cloak and hood costume combination and the white mask. You can't really see it here in the artwork very much, but you can't see the mask, but I quite liked it. It seems that the killer guise is something that has kind of drawn some criticism though from some people, and the past opinion seems to be that the mask is cheap looking and the robes are kind of too close to what has been seen in Scream. But the mask did the trick for me though. I thought it looked quite effective. It was creepy, and it wasn't really like the ghost face mask whatsoever. The robes and cloak kind of were like the Scream costume. I agree with that, but that's nothing really wrong with that, seeing that Scream probably perhaps patterned its costume on certain other costumes from the past anyway, like perhaps the outfit from Rush Week. So slasher films borrow things from one another, don't they? So they kind of recycle things, and it's not really a problem for me. If it works, it works. So I didn't mind that. Next thing was that I liked was the use of camera work and cinematography. I thought that was quite good throughout, with numerous effective close-ups of things like a clown statue, some mask figures that were used as like wall decoration in the villa, and they were used to good effect. There was a really nice transition shot as well when the kind of night when a kind of like a scene of the night sky kind of changed into like a fried egg being cooked the following morning. That was quite effective. That was quite striking. So I did like that. Appreciated these little touches. The villa kind of beach house thing was attractive as well, and this was coupled with some nice landscape shots that at times that were shown of the surrounding area. I guess it was Florida. So it was a film that was quite pleasing to the eye, generally speaking. The last good point that I've got, it's kind of tough to put it into words, but the ending had something about it that I liked, a vibe, if you like, that kind of appealed to me. It was it had a very traditional slasher feel to it. Is maybe the best way that I can describe it. The old church at night was quite atmospheric. I appreciated seeing some of these sort of the familiar slasher trappings on display in this part of the film, such as the kind of the victims being posed in the church pews that I liked, and the killer getting up for like one last scare after being presumed dead. I kind of like it's all cliche, yes, but I kind of like the cliches. I mean, so it's all good fun for me. So I didn't mind that. So the ending, in some ways, was good. There were some negative aspects to it as well that I'll get into, but I did like some things about the ending. So moving on to the bad points now, and what lets the film down the most for me is the cast of characters, with pretty much the entire lot of them across the board being really unlikable. Um, I did find myself warming to the Oz character a little bit as things went on, but even he was really obnoxious near the beginning. The final girl, Beth, perhaps not quite as bad as some of the others, but she was really bland and boring in herself, so even she couldn't save it. It was just a really bad cast of characters, really. I didn't really feel invested in any one of them, so I didn't really care about their chances of survival. So obviously not good for a slasher film. Next bad point is that with the exception of perhaps the very last kill, the murders are all really tame, and they're a big disappointment. The vast majority of them are either off camera or they're just really bad. All we see usually is just like a body that that has been discovered after the kill, with like a little bit of blood smeared around the neck or what have you. It's really bad. Done a really poor job here. Haven't really made much effort. And seeing that the cast is so unlikable as well, it's kind of crying out for like a bloody murder with some good gore effects, but it's sadly lacking here, which is a real letdown. There's even a kill later on with like a decapitation, severed head kind of thing, but even with that you don't even see the head properly, so you can't even see the face, so it's very, very poor. And the last bad point that I've got on this is going into spoiler territory, so I guess consider yourself warned here. Is that, like I said, I did like the ending, but there were some things to it that I didn't like, specifically with the writing. And I didn't really think that the story tied together very well at the end, but the secret itself being particularly underwhelming. And not only was it underwhelming, but it didn't even really properly explain or justify the killer's actions up to that point. So it really kind of fell flat. And on top of that, shortly before, they kind of revealed something about the killer's background and past family life. And I was kind of expecting that to tie in more with the finale, but unfortunately it didn't. And it kind of didn't really add anything to the ending, or didn't get fleshed out any more than what we'd previously seen, so it didn't really make much sense. And there's also kind of a subplot going on throughout the film, which involves an FBI agent who follows the kids down from New England. And I thought that his story might tie in more with the ending as well, because it's kind of hinted at early on that he's had a dead daughter, and I thought maybe that would be a previous victim of the killer, but it didn't turn out to be the case, so it was all kind of a waste of time. And like I say, I just didn't do a very good job of tying things together at the end, so the writing definitely felt kind of off towards the end, which is a bit of a letdown. So in conclusion then, it's a film that has a really bad reputation, that sparks a lot of criticism, so I was kind of intrigued to see it for myself, just to see how bad it really was. And in fairness, it wasn't that bad. It definitely could have been worse. I was expecting it perhaps to be worse than it was. If you had to like give a definitive black and white answer as to is it good or bad, I'd definitely say that it's bad, but there are some aspects to it that I did like, mainly just the appearance of the killer, which was quite good. That was definitely the best thing. But it is almost entirely ruined by the bad cast of characters that are just completely obnoxious, completely unlikable, and the very sort of tame gore. There's virtually no gore to speak of. And the writing at the end is very disappointing as well, in terms of it just not wrapping things up very well. It actually did quite remind me of a different film that I've seen previously, a Dutch slasher called Sneak Week, which is a far superior movie. This is kind of like a poor man's version of that. If you had to give it a score out of 10, I'd be looking at maybe a high 3 or a low 4, so it's not terrible, but it's kind of bad. So thanks for watching. I'll perhaps put a body count down in the description, and thank you for watching once again. Goodbye.